Friends, it is impossible to understand how terrible a person's ego can be, without seeing Josh Duggar. Well, can you believe it? After such a big crime, he still thinks that the TLC channel was the guarantee of his bright future. In today's video, I'm going to share some shocking information. The kind that makes you wonder, should you laugh, or get angry? You honestly won't know what to feel. Because now, Josh Duggar is claiming that he lost millions of dollars because of his family's mistakes. In other words, he has no regrets for his crimes. But all his anger is focused on that lost money. Does he really believe that his family is responsible for his downfall? Today, I'll walk you through some secret reports and Josh's strange logic, things you've probably never heard before. This video is going to be a real eye-opener, so don't miss a single moment. Let's take a closer look inside Josh's strange world. Josh Duggar's story is one of the strangest and most uncomfortable downfalls in reality TV history. Over the years, the Duggar family built an entire brand around faith, family values, and a carefully curated image on TLC. They became one of the most recognizable families in reality television, and for a long time, it felt like this success would never end. But now, after years of scandal, cancelled shows, and Josh's criminal conviction, the conversation has shifted. There's an uncomfortable idea going around that Josh is bitter about losing his television income and believes his parents failed to protect the family brand and his future. And honestly, this is the part that shocks people the most. It's not that viewers were surprised that the money disappeared. Most people expected that, but complaining about losing a reality TV career after everything that happened feels incredibly out of touch with reality. It's interesting, because now the conversation isn't just about scandal. It's about entitlement. For years, the Duggar family lived in a world where television money became normal. And that's important to understand. Before TLC, they were mainly known in conservative Christian circles. But when 19 Kids and Counting became wildly popular, everything changed. The family became a business. Their lives became content. Their children became part of a product. And over time, a lot of money was involved. Exact numbers were never fully confirmed. But it's clear, a long-running reality show brings serious income. Especially with specials, spin-offs, speaking events, books, sponsorships, and public appearances. So why does this matter? Because when someone lives like that for years, losing it doesn't just feel like embarrassment. It feels like losing identity, power, relevance, and financial security, all at once. And maybe that's why people are still so fascinated. Even after all these years, the Duggar empire didn't collapse overnight. It cracked, slowly, under repeated scandals. Many people remember 2015, when Josh's past misconduct was made public. That moment alone sparked massive backlash, and eventually, TLC cancelled 19 Kids and Counting. But even then, the family tried to rebuild. That's something people often forget. The brand didn't disappear immediately. Instead, TLC shifted focus away from Josh and created Counting On, a show centered around the older daughters and their growing families. Clearly, the network believed there was still an audience. And for a while, they were right. Counting On ran for several seasons. The family stayed in the spotlight. Marriages, pregnancies, births, family tensions, all kept viewers engaged. But Josh's shadow never really disappeared. Even when he wasn't on screen, the controversy followed the family. Every new event brought back old questions about how things were handled. And this created a strange situation where Josh was both disconnected and still deeply tied to the family brand. Now imagine this. Your siblings are still on TV, but the original show ended because of your actions, and your family is trying to move forward without you. That kind of situation naturally creates tension. Then came the criminal case. The charges involving child sexual abuse material. And everything changed. Public opinion shifted completely. At that point, there was no way to continue any connection with TLC. Counting On was cancelled in 2021. And honestly, most people saw that coming. There was no realistic way for the network to continue without facing heavy criticism. Now this is where the financial discussion becomes serious. Because losing a long-running reality show doesn't just hurt emotionally, it can hit financially very hard. People often assume reality stars stay rich forever. But that's not always true. Some do. Others depend heavily on that temporary income. They build a lifestyle that disappears faster than expected. And in the Duggar family's case, many people were connected to that income. Adult children, spouses, grandchildren, housing, business ties, travel, media exposure, public speaking, social media growth. Everything was connected. So when the show ended, it didn't just remove a paycheck. It changed the entire environment. And this is where public criticism toward Josh became very strong. Because many people felt, if anyone damaged the financial future, it was Josh himself. Not sympathy, but anger. People looked at the situation and thought, how can someone complain about lost TV money when their own actions damaged everything? And honestly, it's a fair question. Another thing to consider is how public expectations have changed. Years ago, networks might quietly handle scandals. Today, audiences expect strong action. Sponsors react quickly, networks react quickly, and outrage spreads even faster online. TLC itself has faced criticism for years over how it handled the Duggar family. Some say they held onto the show too long because it was profitable. Others believe they tried to shift focus away from Josh to keep the franchise alive. But once the criminal case became public, everything became impossible to manage. And then, Anna Duggar entered the conversation. Public opinion about her has always been divided. Some see her as a victim of pressure and manipulation. Others criticize her for standing by Josh through repeated scandals. The truth is, it's probably more complex than outsiders can fully understand. She married very young, into a strict environment, where family loyalty and obedience were everything. That doesn't erase criticism, but it helps explain why some people feel she's trapped in something bigger than just a marriage. And this matters because the financial fallout also affects her children. And that's why these discussions stay emotional, because innocent children are part of the story. Over the years, there have been reports that Jim Bob Duggar controlled much of the family's TV income. Some former members, like Jill Duggar and Derek Dillard, have spoken publicly about frustrations with contracts and payments. And that opened another question. Who really benefited from the Duggar empire? This became even more controversial when Jill revealed she didn't fully understand how the money was managed. So if Josh feels financial resentment, some believe it could connect to deeper family tensions about control, money, and decision-making. And honestly, this happens often in reality TV families. When a family becomes a business, relationships get mixed with contracts and money, and the results are rarely good. Another uncomfortable truth is that fame may have protected the family from criticism for years. Fans were loyal, the image was controlled, and many people only saw the polished version. But scandals expose hidden cracks. And once that happens, the entire brand starts to fall apart. And this idea that Josh blames others for his financial downfall is what frustrates people the most, because it removes personal responsibility from the conversation. Today, public opinion about Josh is overwhelmingly negative. People don't see him as a TV personality anymore. They see him through his conviction and the damage caused. So when talk of lost millions comes up, people react with disbelief. It feels deeply insensitive. And from a public perspective, there's really no way this topic could be received positively, because the crimes involved are serious. That's why every Duggar-related headline still triggers strong reactions. This isn't just about television anymore. It's about accountability. And there's another layer here that people often overlook. Josh grew up. But before we continue, let me tell you something. No matter how busy I am, I truly enjoy bringing you these stories about the Duggar family. It feels like I'm just chatting with a close friend. I want to bring a smile to your face, even through these small efforts, because your support gives me the strength to keep going. So come on, let's move to the next part. This one is even more intense. Josh Duggar has now slammed Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar for blaming him amid child abuse allegations. The former, 19 kids and counting, star says his parents are trying to make themselves look good. While he's in prison, he continues to insist on his innocence, while also criticizing his parents for putting their image above the family. In a text message sent to his mother and obtained by People, Josh said he was disappointed that his parents blamed him after his conviction. In December 2021, he wrote, "I don't think you guys are taking any criticism or acknowledging your actions, which have directly affected my life, including this situation." He added, "I don't blame you for this situation, but you're blaming me, and you don't know the truth." The 38-year-old, whose 151-month sentence was recently extended, has reportedly continued to plead not guilty. In multiple messages, he also claimed that another man from a used car dealership, was responsible for downloading illegal material onto his computer. Entertainment Weekly has reached out for further comment. Josh also said his parents don't understand how they hurt him, and accused them of trying to protect their image instead of focusing on the allegations. According to reports, he had earlier told his mother how difficult prison life is. While his family continues living normally, he criticized them for prioritizing public image over relationships, and said his mother sometimes seemed more concerned with PR than anything else. As his legal appeals continue, Josh stated that he doesn't want to blame others, but still urged his mother to reflect and take responsibility so that similar situations don't happen again. Meanwhile, the Duggar family is now dealing with another legal case. Joseph Duggar has been accused in a separate matter. The 31-year-old was arrested on March 18, facing serious charges involving a minor. He has pleaded not guilty and is scheduled for a hearing on May 18.